This is my portfolio. You can move around with that little red car, learn things about me, discover the projects I worked on, have fun with the destructible environment, and maybe find some secrets. And, well, that's all. Now, here's the thing. I made it exactly 5 years ago. And I haven't updated much since then. I fixed a few bugs, I added 1 or 2 features, and that's pretty much all there is. I need a new portfolio. Since the release of the portfolio, crazy things happened. I quit my job to start a full freelance career and created great projects with awesome people. I created a course, 3.js Journey, and I kept on updating it again and again. I did some talks and podcasts. I did a few years of teaching. I adopted a new dog, that's Boy. I dog-sitted many dogs too. And I recently moved to a new place. Even though I was doing stuff, moving on with my career and enjoying building stuff, I was always thinking about my portfolio. As a gamer, I just love building websites that feel like video games, and I remember the joy and excitement when I was finally able to move the car around on my old portfolio. I wanted to feel that again. Recently, I said to myself, okay, I finished the house, because yes, there's a lot to do. And I start building my new portfolio. But I realized 2 things. First, a house is a never-ending project, and I don't want to rush things. Secondly, I need the right balance between digital and manual. I want to do both at the same time. And that's why I decided to start my portfolio right now while working on the house. And look at that, I have my office finished. Okay, no, maybe not finished, but at least I can walk. I don't know for you, but I'm usually interested in the building process more than the actual final project. I've been following various devlogs, usually for indie games, and I find it fascinating. I love to see the project evolve, to see how the dev handles the various challenges, but also discover the developers, their mindset, their way of living. That's why I decided to share the adventure with you guys and release regular devlogs. I'm hoping it will inspire some of you and that you will learn a few things along the way. Although I will share some code and explain techniques, especially in the next videos, I have to warn you, this is not a tutorial. But if the project goes well, maybe, and I insist on the maybe, one day I will create a course to learn how to build this portfolio. But that's for future me. One thing I always say when it comes to posting stuff online is don't make it a burden. So I will try to keep the devlogs simple. In order to post fairly often, my goal right now is to post every 2 weeks. Let's see how it goes. For this new version, I have many ideas, but I want to keep the essence of the old portfolio. First, let's talk about what I want to keep. I need to keep that little car driving around because it feels like it's me. And I know I'm going to have fun doing that again. I will keep the camera above, following the car, but I will probably take some liberties, especially to accommodate with the new content. I love the style of the old portfolio. It feels like we are back in our childhood, playing with car on that famous rose carpet many of us had. I want to stick to this style, and I've been gathering inspiration and ideas to make it look even better. I need physics for both the car controls so that it feels natural, but also for the destructible world, more stuff to break. It needs to load fast and it needs to render fast. That won't be easy, especially with all the features I want to implement. Speaking of the new features, The old world was nice and simple, but it felt more like a prototype, and there is so much more we can have. I want grass, trees, a detailed house, water areas, elevation, etc. Someone once posted a speedrun of my portfolio, where the goal was to pass right between the bars after the jump in the playground area, and I thought it was hilarious. Now imagine if you need to do dozens of fun things like finding secrets, doing some physics tricks, accomplishing some goals, etc., like a real game. I'm not talking about having 100 cars driven by actual players colliding with each other. That would be a mess and the server would probably crash on release. No, I'm thinking more of a Death Stranding approach where players can interact with other players without actually seeing them. It can be messages, resource sharing, things like that. I have to think about it. Like day-night cycles, seasons, weather hazards like fog, thunder, rain, snow. I want the portfolio to change depending on the time of the day and things like that. I'm mostly referring to the projects. I need a way to display them in a more appropriate and user-friendly manner, and maybe I can also add my experiments. I experimented a little a while back with a PS4 controller, and it's quite funny. I don't care if it's 1 out of 100 users, I want to test that feature. Well, just listen to the old portfolio. Man, I'm bad at this. And this is the end of the devlog. It was more of a presentation than an actual devlog, which is why I'm going to put a 0. There you go. I feel better now. By the way, you can find all the links to the various resources I shared in the video, like website, tweets, etc., right below in the description. And I will see you in the next video. Was it like 2 weeks? 3 weeks? I don't remember. I promise the next video will be a lot more technical, and I already have some footage. Wanna see?